Hello everyone, my name is Gitanjali Singh and I am currently interning at Lexis and Company, and the topic for today's video is the landmark judgment of Aruna Schonberg case. Now after this case there has been instances where in the progressive state of India the main thing was absent, and after this landmark judgment it was being added and amended. This case and the facts of this case shook the entire nation. While after this case, so the situation did not improve, but some facts and the precedents which have been followed. Now, in this case, for introduction, we must learn what the main aspect of this case, that is passive euthanasia and euthanasia. Now, euthanasia, as we all know, also known as mercy killing. It is an act or a practice of painlessly putting to death persons suffering from painful and incurable disease of incapacitating physical disorder, or allowing them to die by withholding treatment or withdrawing artificial life support measures like ventilators and oxygens. Now there can be two types of euthanasia. Number one is active or passive. Active euthanasia is the use of some hazardous substance or legal methods to kill a person, whereas passive euthanasia is stopping some medical treatment in the absence of which a person is likely to die. The passive euthanasia can be both voluntarily and involuntarily. Now, when the consent from the patient is taken, it becomes voluntary, and in the case when a person is not in the condition to provide a consent, then the decision on his or her behalf is taken by some other person, like their doctors, their family members, and in the wide scale the state and the government is also responsible. Then it is involuntary. So in Aruna Schonberg's case, Supreme Court laid down the massive guidelines for passive euthanasia which has been introduced in India after this case. These guidelines provided for withdrawal of life support system, which can ultimately lead to a person's death. This verdict made passive euthanasia possible in India in certain conditions which will be decided by High Court. Later in year 2018, the Supreme Court passed another order in the case of Common Cause versus Union of India, in which right to die with dignity was again recognized and passive euthanasia was legalized, and permit was given to withdraw the life support system of those who are terminally ill and are in lifelong coma. Along with this code, it also provided the concept of living wills, which it is a document that allows a person to make decisions in advance with regard to what course of treatment he wants in case he gets seriously ill in the future and becomes unable to take decisions. Now let's move further to the facts of the case and the issues and the judgment and analysis of this case will be dealt in another video. Now, the facts were Aruna Ramachandra Schonberg was a staff nurse working in a King Edward Memorial Hospital, which was situated in Parel, Mumbai. Now, this was the case of 1973, long way back, where on the evening of 27th November 1973, she was attacked by a sweeper in the hospital where she was working, who wrapped a dog chain around her neck and yanked her back with it. He tried to rape her, but finding that she was menstruating at that time, he sodomized her. To immobilize her during this act, he twisted the chain around the neck. The next day, a certain cleaner found her in an unconscious condition lying down on the floor with blood all over her. It was alleged that due to the strangulation by the dog chain, the supply of oxygen to the brain stopped and the brain got damaged. 30 years later, elapsed time since that incident, she had been surviving. She was surviving on a mashed food and could not move her hands or legs. She was totally dependent on the King Edward Memorial Hospital, where the staffs and doctors were literally taking care of her, and while she was like bedridden totally. It was alleged that there is no possibility of any improvement in that conditions. Then, when the petitioner asked for the mercy killing, the court decided to appoint a team of 3 eminent doctors to investigate and report on the exact physical and mental conditions of Aruna Schonberg, where the doctors and teams were appointed to report the exact physical and mental condition of Aruna Schonberg. They studied that Aruna Schonberg's medical history in details and opined that she is not brain dead. She reacts to certain situations in her own way. For example, she likes light, devotional music and prefers fish soups. She is uncomfortable if a lot of people are there in a room, or she gets distraught. She is calm when there are fewer people around her. The staff of KEM hospital was taking sufficient care of her. She was kept clean all the time. Also, they did not find any suggestions from the body language of Aruna as to the willing to terminate her life. Further, nursing staff at KEM hospital was more than willing to take care of her. Thus, the doctors opined that the passive euthanasia in the instant matter of Aruna Schonberg is really not necessary. There were some issues which were raised in this case, and they are: a term has been derived from this is like permanent vegetative state. When a person, number one issue was when a person is in PVS state, should withholding or withdrawing of life sustaining therapies be permissible or not lawful? If the patient has previously expressed a wish not to have life-sustaining treatments in case of futile care of previous, should his or her wishes be respected when the situation arises? Or if in any case a person has not previously expressed such a wish, if his family or next to kin make a request to withhold or withdraw futile life-sustaining treatments, should their wish be respected? Now, in this case, the consent of Aruna could not be obtained, thus the question as to who should decide on her behalf became more prominent. This was decided by the beneficiaries. Beneficence is acting in the patient's best interest. Acting in the patient's best interest means following a course of action that is best for the patient, and it is not influenced by any personal convictions, motives, or other conditions. Public interest and the interest of the state were also considered lightly. The mere legislation of euthanasia could lead to a widespread misuse of the provision, and thus the court looked at various jurisprudence to evolve in the same. In next video, we learn about the analysis of the Supreme Court at that time and the judgment and the conclusion of it. Thank you.